Your bird isn't just tapping, it's trying to warn you. You've seen it happen, a flash of wings, a rhythmic pecking against glass. It feels like a message. But what does it mean? Today we'll unravel the truth behind this odd behavior. We'll reveal why birds hit windows, how they navigate in ways we don't understand, and why your bird might be trying to say something. Stay to the end, because the answer might change the way you see your backyard forever. Number 1. The hidden mirror. Have you ever noticed birds tapping or pecking at your window? They're not trying to get your attention. They're seeing their own reflection. To them, your window is a portal to another world, a place where they can interact with their own image. This mistaken perception is rooted in their limited ability to judge distance and depth. What this means for you is that your window is not just a barrier, but a stage for a silent, daily drama that your birds are performing without knowing it. It's a fascinating and often overlooked aspect of avian behavior that reveals their world through a very different lens. This reflection isn't just a mirror, it's a doorway to confusion. Birds like sparrows, finches, and even larger species such as cardinals have been known to collide with windows, thinking they're flying into open space. The Cornell Lab of Ornithology has studied this phenomenon, noting that these collisions are most common during low-light hours. It's a tragic misunderstanding, where a perfectly natural instinct turns deadly. Your yard may seem safe to you, but to these birds, it's a dangerous illusion. You might never see the impact of these collisions, but the birds do, and it changes how they navigate their world. This hidden mirror is more than a visual trick. It's a life or death decision for them every day. What happens after that collision? Often, birds recover, but not always. The American Bird Conservancy has documented the staggering toll these incidents take each year. It's a sobering reminder that your window, while a small part of your home, is a major obstacle in the lives of countless birds. These collisions are more than just accidents. They're a window into how wildlife interacts with human-made spaces. As you continue to watch your feathered neighbors, you'll start noticing how often they're not just visiting your yard, but testing it, searching for something they can't see. And the next time you hear a thud, you might wonder, was that a bird or a message from a world that's just out of reach? Number 2. Territorial signals are more than just noise. They're a form of bird language. You might notice your backyard bird tapping rhythmically on a window or fence, creating a pattern that sounds almost musical. This behavior is a deliberate attempt to mark its space and warn others to stay away. These taps are often timed with the bird's own calls, creating a layered message that can be heard by rivals or potential mates. It's a visual and auditory display of ownership that's both clever and complex. What this means for you is that your yard is now part of a much larger avian conversation. During the breeding season, these territorial displays become more urgent and frequent. The bird is not simply defending space, but also advertising its strength and availability to potential mates. This tapping can be heard miles away, especially on quiet mornings when the world is still. The research in the Journal of Avian Biology shows that these behaviors serve to reinforce dominance and establish hierarchy within a neighborhood of birds. You might even see neighboring birds responding with their own tapping, creating a kind of avian debate. It's a reminder that your yard is a stage for a complex natural drama. What starts as a simple tap can evolve into a full display of dominance, complete with vocalizations and flight patterns. These behaviors are not random, but are deeply rooted in the bird's instinct to survive and reproduce. The more your bird taps, the more it signals its presence to the world around it. This is a subtle but powerful way that your backyard birds communicate without ever needing to meet face-to-face. You're witnessing the beginning of a larger narrative of competition, courtship, and survival that will unfold in your yard. What will happen next as the season progresses is something you might want to watch closely. Number 3. Mating calls can be more than just songs in the air. They can be a tapping rhythm on a branch, a subtle but deliberate signal. Some birds, like the northern mockingbird, use tapping as a clever way to attract a mate. This behavior is not random, it's a carefully chosen method of communication. It serves as a way to announce their presence to others in the neighborhood and to draw attention to their territory. In your yard, you might notice this tapping as a sign that a bird is looking for love. What this means for you is that you're witnessing a natural and fascinating part of the bird's life cycle. Did you know that birds may use windows and other hard surfaces to amplify their calls? According to the University of Washington, some species take advantage of sound-reflecting materials to make their tapping and singing reach further. This amplification gives them an edge in attracting mates from a greater distance. You might not realize it, but your home could be part of this natural performance. The tapping isn't just for show, it's a strategic move in the mating game. Observing this behavior in your yard is like getting a front row seat to a hidden world of communication and courtship. Sometimes, tapping is just one part of a larger performance that includes song and visual displays. These birds are not only vocal but also dynamic, using their bodies to enhance their message. You might see them fluffing their feathers or bowing as they tap, creating a more striking impression on potential mates. This combination of sound, movement, and display is a masterclass in nature's showmanship. What you're seeing now is just the beginning. There's more to uncover about how birds court, compete, and connect in the world around you. Number 4. Disorientation and confusion can strike your birds unexpectedly, leaving them bewildered by the very environment they rely on. Imagine your yard as a place of familiar landmarks, but when a window's reflection distorts reality, your bird may see a world that doesn't exist. This can trigger a kind of visual vertigo, making them unable to judge distance or direction properly. The lack of depth cues in glass can turn a simple task, like landing on a feeder, into a disorienting puzzle. What this means for you is that even the most inviting feeders can become traps if not properly positioned. A little awareness can make all the difference in keeping your feathered friends safe and grounded. The issue is not just about reflections. Urban environments, with their abundance of glass and mirrored surfaces, create a disorienting maze for birds like the junco. These birds rely heavily on visual cues to navigate, and when these are distorted, they can become trapped in a loop of confusion. Studies have shown that in cities where windows are everywhere, the risk of collisions rises significantly. This confusion is not just momentary, it can lead to exhaustion or even fatal outcomes if the bird is unable to correct its course. You might notice your bird circling a window or flying erratically near it, unable to process what they're seeing. This is a silent crisis happening in yards across the country. Even birds that seem perfectly adapted to their surroundings can fall victim to this kind of disorientation. The dark-eyed junco in particular is especially vulnerable, as its entire survival strategy hinges on quick, accurate spatial awareness. When this is compromised, they may abandon their usual feeding spots or avoid your yard altogether. You might be left wondering why your birds are suddenly less frequent visitors. The good news is that simple changes, like adding window decals or using netting, can help guide them back to safety. This is just one of the hidden challenges your birds face every day, and understanding it is the first step toward a more bird-friendly environment. Number 5. Injury or distress can be signaled by a behavior you might not expect: tapping. Birds that are hurt or in pain may repeatedly knock on windows, walls, or other surfaces as if trying to communicate their discomfort. This is not just random movement, it's a distress signal, a way they express something is wrong. In your yard, if you notice a bird behaving this way, it may be suffering from an injury or a sudden change in its environment. What this means for you is that you have a chance to help. A simple observation can lead to a rescue or a call for professional support. This tapping behavior isn't just a sign of pain, it's often a response to stress from the outside world. Urban and captive birds in particular may tap when exposed to sudden noises, unfamiliar people, or changes in their habitat. You might find this happening near your home during construction or after a storm, when the environment feels more chaotic than usual. Such birds are trying to cope with their discomfort, using tapping as a way to self-soothe or to draw attention. It's a complex behavior, one that can hint at deeper issues without clear warning signs. Understanding this can help you recognize when a bird is truly in one is a price of phyphis. What's even more intriguing is that some birds may continue this behavior even after the immediate stressor has passed. This could mean lingering pain or an unmet need that requires attention. In captivity, avian experts have observed that repetitive tapping can signal a lack of mental stimulation or physical discomfort. Your birds are not just reacting to the present moment, they may be signaling a deeper issue that needs addressing. The next time you see this behavior, think about what might be causing it, because understanding the signs can make all the difference in helping your feathered friends find comfort. Number 6. The mystery of the missing mate. Your bird may be trying to find a lost companion. If your feathered friend is suddenly tapping on windows, chirping persistently, or flitting around the yard with unusual intensity, it might be searching for a missing partner. Birds form strong emotional bonds, and when one is lost, the survivor may act as if the mate is just out of sight. This behavior is not uncommon, especially in species that rely on long-term pairings. You might notice your bird looking at reflections, as if trying to communicate with the shadow of its former companion. What this means for you is that your yard has become a stage for a deeply personal drama, one that has been playing out in nature for generations. Imagine your bird's mind full of memories of shared songs, nesting routines, and the familiar presence of a partner who once stood beside it. When that presence vanishes, the bird may be left with an intense sense of confusion and longing. This is why it might mimic calls, flutter around the yard, or even attempt to interact with its own reflection. The chickadee, for example, is known to exhibit this behavior, often repeating calls as if trying to locate the missing mate. This is not just a reaction, it's a survival instinct, as birds depend on their partners for nesting, raising young, and defending territory. Your bird is not just alone, it is actively seeking something it cannot see. The chickadee, for example, is not to exhibit this behavior, often repeating calls as if trying to exhibit this behavior, often repeating calls as if trying to locate the missing mate. What happens next depends on whether your bird's lost mate has moved on or if the search continues. Some birds may eventually find their partners again, while others may take months or even years to adjust. In the meantime, your yard becomes a sanctuary for a bird that is both heartbroken and determined. The presence of food, water, and shelter can make all the difference in helping your bird cope. You might even notice other birds joining the scene, offering company or companionship in unexpected ways. This is just the beginning of a deeper exploration into the emotional lives of birds, what they feel, how they grieve, and how they search for connection in the wild world around them. You watch as your bird pecks gently, again and again, against the window where its reflection dances. It doesn't know it's only seeing itself. In that quiet persistence, there's a longing so ancient, so universal. It echoes through every heartbeat, every human search for meaning. You feel it too, the ache to be seen, to be understood, to belong. The glass is thin, but the distance between worlds is vast. And yet, in this small, tender moment, you are both connected. You are not alone. In the stillness, you understand. This bird is not just tapping for food or shelter. It's searching for something more, a connection that transcends species, time, and space. You feel it in your chest, a soft, aching truth. We are all searching, we are all longing. And in that shared yearning, there is a kind of sacredness. You sit quietly, watching, listening, and in that moment, you are no longer an observer. You are part of the story, a story of love, of hope, of belonging. Now that you know, I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed your bird tapping on a window, and what did you think it meant? Share your story in the comments and let's connect over this strange yet beautiful behavior. Whether you're a lifelong bird watcher or just curious, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep your eyes open because your birds might be trying to speak.